Welcome to this week's 5 Minutes of Revelation. And today, in those 5 minutes, I want to encourage you by telling you that you don't have to ask and beg God 2 times, 3 times, 10 or 20 times for the same thing. You only have to ask Him once, but ask Him in faith, and that's how you will receive it. See, because in Luke 11, Jesus tells a story of a man who got a visitor late at night. And this man didn't have any food at home. He didn't have any bread or anything else to give his visitors. So he gets out of his house and goes to his friend. And late at night, he wakes up his friend and asks him, "Hey, do you have something to eat? Do you have some bread I can borrow so I can feed my friend?" And then Jesus says, even if this man doesn't give him anything because he's his friend, he will at least give him as much as he needs because of his persistence. And persistence doesn't mean that he comes 2 or 3 times. No, persistence just means that he knows what he wants, he knows what he asked his friend for, and he knows that he will receive it of that friend. And then God says in verse 9, "Ask and it will be given to you." And that's today's message for you. Ask and it will be given to you. God doesn't say, if you ask me 2 or 3 times, or if you ask me 20 times, if you spend enough time begging me for it, you will receive it. No, God says, ask and it will be given to you. Just like this friend received it, God is so much better. So you ask Him and He gives it to you. As much as you want, as much as you need. And that's today's message. It's simple, but too many times we still sit there asking God again and again and again about the same thing. Whereas the Bible tells us that if we ask God anything according to His will, then we can know that He hears us. And if we know that He hears us, we know that we will also receive whatever we ask of Him. This is 1 John 5 verse 14 to 15. So that means that we need to ask God according to His will. And that also means that instead of spending so much time begging and pleading God to finally give us whatever we ask for, we should spend more time trying to find out what God's will for my life is. And even that is not hard. See, because God is good and He is only good. So whatever is good, whatever will bless you, whatever will bring heaven on earth into your life, that is God's will for you. Start there and then go to His Word and find out in more detail what His will for you is, because you will find out that it's so much better than what you already thought. But see, then when you have His Word, you can ask Him according to His Word, which means you can ask Him according to His will. And then when you come before God and ask Him about something, you know that He hears you. And at the same time, you can now know that you will receive whatever you asked for. And that means that you have faith in God, that you have faith in whatever you ask of God. And that's what you need to ask anything of God. See, because prayer was never intended to be something that we spend hours and hours on begging God over and over again. That's not good prayer. That's useless prayer. That's prayer that doesn't produce any results. Prayer was meant to be us knowing God's will, coming before Him and saying, "Hey God, can you give this to me? I know it's your will, so I receive it into my life." That's how it should be, and that's how it's powerful, and that's how you only have to ask Him once, and then you know that you will receive whatever you ask for. That makes prayer so much more easy, but that's the way it should be. It should be easy. It should be easy to receive the blessings into your life that God has for you. And that's the way to do it. So don't ask God twice. Don't ask Him 3, 4, or 20 times for the same thing. No. Find out His will, then come before Him in prayer, ask Him, and then know and be certain that He heard you and that you will receive whatever you asked for. That's how you will get His blessings into your life, and that's how you won't have to ask God twice, 3, 4, 5, or 20 times about the same thing. And that's today's message. Take that with you. Take that with you into today, but also the rest of your life. Also, don't forget to read your chapter a day, and I'll see you again next week.